Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the post-Raw show, the 32nd one. And, of course, I'm getting my feedback here already, but that's good. That means we're on the air. Because I literally just did half a show thinking, again, I was on the air. So, I got to get this YouTube stuff straightened out. But at least I know for a fact I've made it on the air now. So that is good. Welcome to the 32nd edition of the Post-Raw Show. This is the last Post-Raw show before WrestleMania, which is very exciting. So Raw emanates live from Washington, D.C. It's a packed show, so I'll be breaking it down tonight. I am very excited to say that I will be attending WrestleMania live this Sunday, along with my wife. But unfortunately, my wife is not here tonight. You know, that's just, it stinks, but you know, she's sick again, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. And this thing never transitioned over, but here I am. My hotkeys don't work, but that's okay. Like Cena, you can't see me. It's okay. But here I am. So I'm supposed to attend it with my wife. I'm kind of excited about that, but we'll see. I'm just kidding. April Fools. Victoria is here.
Hi, everyone.
There she is. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I can just imagine everybody was like, oh no, not again. Not another show of just all Mike. Oh my God, that'll be brutal.
I think Daniel would have been really mad.
Daniel wouldn't be able to handle it. But luckily there wasn't a lot of, what's her face? Alexa Bliss on the show tonight, so... Oh, Vin's in the chat room tonight.
No, he's not.
Yeah, Vin. Yeah, it says, oh,
no, there's no way.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my God.
It is.
Good Lord. That's like my biggest nightmare, having him in the live chat.
Oh, yeah. The things are about to get crazy. But we have a lot of people in the live chat tonight, which I'm kind of excited about. I checked first of all, Doug, I did check my key, and it was fine every freaking time I run this thing, and now the key changes 15 times. Don't get it. Lewis, Sweet Lou is in the chat room. We have Tony Goosey Oberstar here. I live for the day April Fool's Day jokes die. Well, Goosey's he's
just being sour.
Miserable guy. Doug Lackey, the terrible, wonderfully masculine Doug Lackey is in the chat room with us tonight. We got Randy, we got Andrew Elder, we got Ashley from the UK, we got CJ Bowman. Who I might, there might be a little surprise to me and CJ Bowman coming up this week. We got to touch base, but we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Who else? We got a lot of people. We got Randy Troika. We got Torkola. I don't know why I said Troika. I'm thinking I must be just in Russian mindset now.
I don't know what mindset you're in.
Nick Carter. Oh my God, we have a celebrity in the chat room. That's cool. All right, I didn't know he was a fan. That's exciting. All right, and of course Billy Hefner, the reason why we have all these views and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Gold Sternus. We've never had Gold Sternus in this chat room before. So hello, Gold Sternus. Good to see you. Jamel. Oh, I love that. Jamel's in the chat room tonight. Let's see. Yes, Sweet Lou. Okay. Very good. We have a good crew here tonight, and I hope more will join on as we go on. But we have a big Raw to talk about tonight. So I'd like to just get into it. Let's see. Oh, Bobby Strauss is in the room, too. Have Bobby Strauss.
We have had Bob. Yeah,
Bobby's been in the room before.
Welcome back, Bobby.
Welcome back, Bobby. Okay. So everybody's here. And, we'll open it up to the chat room, see what everybody thought of Raw tonight. Do you give it a thumbs up or thumbs down? And then we'll re-poll the chat again at the end of the show.
Check the Twitter.
See what they think and all that stuff. But let's see if... Oh, yeah, my hotkeys aren't working, of course. They worked for the first time we did the show, but not this time, so... Oh well, I should release the first part of the show that didn't make air.
No, don't do that, please.
As like one of those like hidden those Wrestleview hidden gems.
No, there's a hidden gem that I would love you to post one day, but we have to be brave enough 2 years from now.
Oh my God, yeah,
that was just hilarious. But
yes, you'll
that'd be like a little Easter egg.
You have no clue what we're talking about.
No.
That was an Easter egg for sure. Yes, there was something wacky that happened on the show one time that. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Only
Not
us.
even Vin. Vin doesn't even know. We didn't even tell Vin.
We didn't tell Vin?
No, we didn't tell Vin.
I could have sworn we did.
We know we didn't.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive. Okay. Because he would have remembered it.
Yeah.
Trust me. And he would bring it up.
I'll have to show him right before WrestleMania.
Yeah, really.
Because Vin's coming to WrestleMania with us as well.
Of course.
Okay, what did everybody think of the show? I gotta go switch. Okay, here we go. Oh, 64% thumbs down for the go-home show to WrestleMania. from Washington, D.C., 64% thumbs down. That has to be directly correlated to just the Baron Corbin like going over against Rey Mysterio thing. Sometimes how Raw ends is how everybody votes. I think sometimes.
Honestly, though,
sometimes the show is god awful, but tonight wasn't god awful at all.
No, it wasn't god awful, but I can see where people would give it a thumbs down. There were a lot, like when I look back and I'm thinking about a majority of what happened. I mean, I'm not personally, I can't give it a thumbs down just because of the whole Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch moment. But I can see where there were elements where people were like, okay, this was not a good show. Like, if you're looking at an overall, okay. Like, I could see where people are coming from.
I guess so. But, I mean, there was a big angle on the show. There was everything was a hard sell for WrestleMania. There was not a lot of great match work, but, you know, there was enough going on that the 3 hours flew by pretty quickly here, for me at least.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I can't give it a thumbs down, but...
Well, let's see if we can change some minds.
Yeah, so, why not? Let's try it.
This has been an absolutely loaded week for the wrestling world, number one. But let's talk about what's going on in Wrestling before we jump into Raw, okay? So Wednesday, we have Wrestleview Weekly with Mr. Doug Lackey. So you'll definitely want to check that out because Doug's going to make the final picks for his... for WrestleMania locks and all that stuff. So Doug's liver will be getting pounded because there's like 97 matches on WrestleMania this year. So I think you have to up your picks. I think you have to up your locks, Doug. I think you do, just for my entertainment.
No, I agree with the amount of locks that he has right now because it's already like getting a little.
It's already lethal.
No, because I almost killed Doug a few weeks ago. So.
I know, and she laughs and takes glee in it.
No, I don't.
Yeah, sure. We'll probably have a little Easter egg here coming up with you know, I'm going to get something going on here. Friday, we have NXT. Mm-hmm. We might be doing something very cool live at NXT, so we'll see about that, but we'll let you in on that as Friday draws near. Also, I believe Adam and Doug, and Doug's in the chat room right now, so he can probably confirm this, but Adam and Doug are gonna be doing some kind of like watch along on the NXT Takeover show, so they'll be live on YouTube doing that.
That's awesome.
Saturday, we're gonna have coverage of the WWE Hall of Fame and also the Ring of Honor New Japan Pro Wrestling Super Show, emanating live from Madison Square Garden, going head to head with D-Generation X going into the Hall of Fame. And then Sunday.
What's going on Sunday?
It's something. WrestleCon or WrestleFest? Oh, Summerfest. Okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, WrestleMania. That's okay. It. Yeah. So we'll be live at WrestleMania immediately. So make sure, please, tune in all day to Wrestleview. There's going to be like crazy coverage
live tweeting,
yeah.
And then you have the recap.
There's going to be crazy coverage.
Show.
Adam Martin's going to be going nuts doing all the WrestleMania coverage. I'm going to be live tweeting, sending in live shots of the stadium. And
I remember the last time we were there when we were at WrestleMania, they took your picture and you were on the main page for Twitter for...
Right. Yeah, I took this really awesome shot of the WrestleMania stage at WrestleMania 33, and that blew up. It had, God, I can't remember, 100,000 something likes.
Yeah, that was on the
like
main page.
And
I remember
Twitter
that.
used it on their main page, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, to promote WrestleMania.
To promote the WrestleMania was going on. So... I don't know if that'll happen again. That was kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime lightning in the bottle
maybe lightning
thing.
will strike twice.
But you never know. But then after that, Adam and Doug will be coming on the air live to talk about WrestleMania 35 from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And the weather at East Rutherford is not looking too hot right now.
No, it's snow on Friday, apparently.
Yeah, we have snow on Friday. It's calling for rain on Sunday. So,
but you know what, though? Honestly, it could very well change. Like, there's been many times this season where it's been like, oh, we're gonna have the worst storm ever, and then it winds up being nothing. So who the heck knows at this point? I'm still hopeful, and no matter what, I'm gonna have a good time. It rained the last time we were there for a little bit.
Yeah, yes, it drizzled. I do remember that. Yeah, we'll survive. Yeah, actually, I think it rained during the Wade Barrett and the Miz match.
It did.
Think. Yeah, that's what
I had my hood. I remember I had my hood up and I tweeted about the Miz.
Yeah, and I was sitting there thinking like, Jesus, this is gonna be a long show if it just continues to rain.
You have to dress appropriately. That's all.
But now it's literally gonna be a long show with no rain. So it's very possible it could have no rain. But the weather in New Jersey has been extraordinarily wacky these past few months.
60 degrees.
It was 77 degrees on Saturday. 40 degrees on Sunday, 33 at certain points today. It's just been and then in the craziness. I'm surprised we don't all have pneumonia and aren't all dying, but we'll have to just make do as we go. Okay, let's talk about Raw.
Okay.
So like I said, there's tons of stuff going on WrestleView. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done that, so you can stay tuned with all the fun stuff that we're doing on YouTube. Okay, great. All right, let's jump into Wrestleview. The Raw review on the Wrestleview, which is done by the best Raw recap of all time.
Agreed.
I agree. Yeah.
No, agreed.
You have to agree to that. You're my wife.
I don't have to. I really don't have to, but I do agree with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we had all day. And after this, we're going to have to do a little talk as well. That's the one thing I forgot to plug. After we're done talking about Raw, we have to talk about what everybody else is talking about. We have to talk about the John Oliver thing.
We have to.
So stay tuned. This isn't just the post-Raw show. This is also the post-Last Week Tonight with John Oliver show as well. Okay. Yes. So it's yesterday tonight.
So stay tuned.
Yeah. This show is going to be yesterday tonight. Excellent. All right. The not the big news of the day, that's for sure. But the big thing going around, for in the WWE world, where everything is in a bubble, is that Stephanie McMahon is going to appear on the show tonight and make a big announcement regarding the WrestleMania main event. Well, Charlotte Flair won the SmackDown Women's Championship on Tuesday from Asuka, which was a really stunning move. But did anybody really want to see Asuka versus Mandy Rose and or Sonya Deville? Not really. Not really. I don't know what Asuka's going to do, but I have to assume if they're going to have that women's battle royal again with the uterus-shaped trophy, which was odd, I think that she's got to be in it and she's going to win it. But again, that doesn't mean anything. I don't know what they're doing with Asuka, but it's okay. Her title reign kind of stunk anyway. So Charlotte Flair is going to also have her title on the line. Both titles, the Raw Women's title and the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, will be on the line in this triple threat match with Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey. Winner take all at WrestleMania this Sunday. And because it's triple threat, obviously there's no disqualifications. So that was the big news. Everybody kind of figured that. But a lot of people were also thinking, oh, it's going to be a unification match as well. Blah, blah, Does it? Who cares about unification?
No,
it is what it is.
I don't care about that.
So what'd you think of the announcement?
I liked it a lot. I mean, listen, I know we're not like the biggest fans of Stephanie, but like the moment she comes out and that like reaction that she gets in the crowd, I'm automatically drawn in, and I'm kind of like I love it. I love everything about these women right now. So literally, they can tell me anything, and I'll be like, yay. Like the only way I wouldn't be excited is if any of them were not involved. For everybody who is like boo-hooing about Charlotte being involved in this, like they have to be kicking themselves because she adds so much. She adds so much to this. And now with this whole SmackDown championship, women's championship, it's like, oh my God! It's like, how can they have possibly topped it even more?
Well, they damn sure tried. Yes,
but for me, like I said, for me personally, they're doing it. They're actually doing it.
Yep.
And I just amazed.
I love the addition of Charlotte Flair too, and I've talked about this before on the show as well. Ronda Rousey still very much a greenhorn. She has her own style and pace, which is kind of like, it takes some getting used to and all that stuff. She still moves a little fast. Like that time she almost dropped Dana Brooke on her head, which was scary. But she's still very green. I wouldn't trust her to be in a main event with just Becky Lynch.
With just anybody,
on the biggest women's match in WWE history. The former biggest match in women's WWE history was Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey. And Nikki Bella carried Ronda Rousey to a great match, and I talked about that last week because we were talking about Nikki Bella retiring. Now, this is obviously the biggest women's match ever. Main eventing WrestleMania, big time. That's big time.
Big time.
So you don't want Ronda Rousey kind of floundering in there with with Becky Lynch, just
No.
they're just going through the motions and stuff like that.
They all serve a purpose.
So Charlotte Flair is that glue that's going to make this match phenomenal. She's going to keep the pacing right. I just think I think it's just going to be a total win.
I know. Sorry for everybody boo-hooing.
Well, no, I don't think anybody's boo-hooing anymore.
They're not.
And if you are, it's like, come on.
Yeah, but the fact that people did to begin with.
Oh, but everybody boo-hoos everything. There's nothing that WWE can do right, even though it's like Fox News here. But
there was
like,
a huge uproar. Like, it was one of those things where it's like, I'm not. I listen. Everybody. Yes, there's always negative people, but it was one of those ones where I'm not watching WrestleMania. Good, don't. Yeah. Like, you really were that mad, and now you look like an idiot.
Well,
you really do.
They look like idiots anyway, because they literally, you can give them whatever they want. You give them what they want, they still complain. That's the deal.
Gold right here. You can't argue with that. Like, I'm sorry. There's really not much you can say about this other than this is amazing.
Well, let's talk about it after it happens. Let's see if it is truly amazing, as amazing as
it will be.
Think it will be.
I believe
it will be as well. I believe this is going to be a good show. Okay. Next out is Brock Lesnar. Finally, he's back on Raw. The Universal Champion makes his way to the ring with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman goes through a shtick. They get a great reaction from the Washington crowd. It's always like, when you watch the beginning of the show, which always feels like it happened 9 years ago, and then you compare it to the end of the show and just how dead the crowd is. This was a live crowd.
Yeah.
This was a hot crowd tonight.
Absolutely.
Of course, the show goes, it's 3 hours, it drags. I get it. Maybe I don't think that means that it should be totally thumbs down or whatever, but the crowd was definitely dead by the end of the show. But they were alive in this segment. Brock Lesnar coming out, they were booing loudly. Paul Heyman was enjoying himself. Lesnar was enjoying himself. They were smiling. And Heyman says it's fitting and poetic that Stephanie McMahon described a match as winner take all, because that pertains to the Universal Championship match as well. Because Brock Lesnar is going to take everything from Seth Rollins. He's going to take everything. He's going to take Seth Rollins' best shot, and then he's going to take Seth Rollins' everything that Rollins has in life. He's going to destroy his dream. He's going to just basically end his career. Lesnar took the streak. Last year he took the hopes and reigns of Roman Reigns. Hopes and dreams of Roman Reigns, and not the hopes and reigns of Roman Reigns. But also, I guess a championship reign would have been nice. So if you watch hockey for the fights, if you watch NASCAR for the car crashes, if you watch football for the riots, Lesnar is going to violate Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, which I don't know if that means that he's going to employ some Iron Sheik brand of justice where he puts him in the camel clutch, make him humble, break his back, and you know the rest. We've all seen that shoot interview. He's going to fuck his ass. There's going to be something crazy going on here. Make him humble.
Ew.
Fucking bullshit.
Oh, God.
Iron Sheik's a weird dude. He's a weird dude. But anyway, I guess Lesnar's just as weird because he's going to employ some Iron Sheik justice. It's going to be pretty freaking sweet. Okay. Heyman goes on to say that Rollins is just an afterthought, and so Seth Rollins comes out to cut him off. Seth Rollins got huge reaction. People were so into him. They're chanting, burn it down. Seth Rollins cut a really fiery babyface promo, which I enjoyed greatly. Let me show a little bit. He just says, after WrestleMania, everything changes for you. You won't be able to come in here and make demands. Nobody wants you here. Lesnar's laughing at him. He goes, laugh it up. Yeah, laugh it up, because you don't care about anything but yourself. The locker room doesn't want you here, and the people are sick and tired of Brock Lesnar. They got a big reaction. Burn it down chants. Lesnar's still laughing. Rollins says beating him at WrestleMania may be improbable, but not impossible. This Sunday, he's going to beat Lesnar and take his title, and there's not a damn thing he can do about it. Lesnar goes to walk off. He bumps Rollins. They get into a fight. Rollins low blows him. Lesnar still comes back with an amazing German suplex. I wish I had a GIF of that, actually. I should have been more prepared with a GIF of that German suplex.
How dare you?
That's despicable of me. How disgusting. And he goes for an F5, but Rollins slides off and low blows him again. Rollins super kicks him and hits the stomp. Very good little thing for Seth Rollins here, because Rollins, throughout this whole entire time, the only real interaction between these two was in January at the end of the post-Raw of the Raw after Royal Rumble, and Lesnar annihilated him with like 6 or 7 F5s, I can't remember, and that was pretty much it. Rollins was injured for a little bit. They had no interaction, so this was pretty much the second time they've ever had any physicality. So Rollins, after two months, finally got some heat back from Lesnar, and now they go to Sunday at WrestleMania. Old school booking logic says that, you know, whoever leaves the person laying is the one who's not going over. So, you know, I've seen too many Brock Lesnar WrestleMania matches I know better than to try to predict that.
Billy and I were talking tonight. And,
Billy Hafner, yes.
Yeah, and we were saying we obviously very much enjoy, because, you know, we're Brock Lesnar fans and we're Seth Rollins fans. Mm-hmm. So we very much enjoyed every aspect of this, but we went to the same mindset as you, as that old school booking where it's like that, you know, also though too, like that even Steven booking is far, not like in terms of matches, but as far as this, where it's like the person who goes over before the actual show is not the one to win.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But you can't predict a Brock Lesnar anything. You just can't.
I know.
Because he had everybody convinced that he was leaving.
Well, everybody thought that he was,
going back,
losing to Roman Reigns last year at WrestleMania, and he beat him. Everybody thought Undertaker was going to go over him nice and easy, and he ends the streak.
I still think
everybody thought Roman Reigns was going to beat him at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah,
and Lesnar beat him.
I mean, I still think Lesnar.
Nobody
will win.
thought Dean Ambrose was going to beat him, and Dean Ambrose didn't beat him. So I guess that
or Daniel Bryan or whatever. But you know, but I still think Lesnar will win. But at the same time, though, I can't necessarily, like, if I had a, like, if Doug asked me, like, can you lock that? I'd be like, no. Don't
lock the Brock Lesnar match.
You don't know, but I'm saying you don't.
Whatever you do.
I'm just saying you don't lock anything with him. You just can't. He's such an not an oddball. What's the word I'm looking for? It's such a he's such a curveball that it's like it can go in any which way. Mm-hmm. We really don't know how it's going to pan out.
Yeah.
But overall,
I was convinced 100%, 1000% convinced. And Heyman even said at the Feta Complete that it was going to be Lesnar going over, Reigns going over Lesnar, but that never happened.
I really like this too, though. This was another great.
I'm just happy that I got to actually do a recap. I think this is the first time. I don't even know how many recaps I've done. 10.5 years on WrestleView doing recaps.
Okay, but
it has to be over, I don't know, 1,000, whatever. This is the first time that I've ever had the chance to write fait accompli in a recap, so I was pretty damn happy about that. Although
for everything,
every
right?
time Heyman does a promo, I always get to type something special every now and then. Like, what was that?
I keep hearing like
the house settling.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you hear
anyway,
it?
I heard it. Yeah, but I remember one time I actually got to recap Latin when he said something about Roman Reigns, and he just started talking about he started talking to Latin. In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, and it was like, oh cool, I get to et nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. I was like, cool, I get to do the Latin. I'm pretty psyched. Yes, CJ says the word would be anomaly. I think that's...
Yeah, I know, I agree with that.
That's the word.
My words are not all there lately, but, you know.
Oh no, he also did Samoan. That was a separate thing, but he did do Latin. He did the sign of the cross and did Latin.
I do remember the Samoan, too.
He did... No, of course he did Samoan. He talked... that was last year. He talked in Samoan to Roman Reigns and confused him, and then he pepper sprayed him. But like 2 or 3 years ago, he did Latin
too,
and did the sign of the cross.
Yes.
I forget who he was signing.
I forget in what reference to.
I can't remember what the match was.
I do remember. I
definitely
picture
did Latin.
him doing it, but I can't remember who he was addressing.
Yeah. See, I can recap Latin. I can't recap Samoan. I know a little Latin, but that I can't do the Samoan thing.
Well, I feel like that's hard. It's not like a common. Like,
that was pretty good though. That was pretty good.
I mean, it's common for most people, I guess, but not.
Yeah. But anyway, this was a fun opening segment. I liked it. I did too. I liked Rollins going over. And again, with Lesnar, you don't predict anything with Brock Lesnar. You just can't. You're a fool if you even try to. So that's it. Like this, the old school booking logic says that Lesnar goes over on Sunday because he was left laying, but you just never know.
Never know.
I think I sense Rollins, but I don't want to commit to that. Mm-hmm. Abi and Malam Crucem go to hell in Latin. Thank you, Doug.
Wow, Doug. Why are you being so salty?
Oh, I love that. That was great. All right. Let's just, you know what? There's just so much on this Raw. Let's just go through the whole entire thing in order. Nia Jax, Tamina, and the Iconics versus Sasha Banks, Bayley, Natalya, and Beth Phoenix.
No.
This was Beth Phoenix's first match in 6 years, and it stunk.
No.
And that's all I got on this. Within
okay, crowd.
Within less than a minute, Sasha Banks attempted to do a rope climb arm drag and fell. So that just speaks to me about what kind of match this is going to be at WrestleMania. This screams kickoff show, but it's got to be on the main show.
It's going to be on the main show.
You know what? It's bad enough that you have Sasha Banks in there who's going to botch up a storm. Then you have the Iconics who are just like, they just do stuff.
But I like Phoenix, the Iconics.
Yeah, I mean, they have great facial expressions, but like match-wise, this is going to stink. And they're probably, and I guarantee you, they're going to be given some time.
Of course they're going to be given time.
I really do believe that.
It's the first ever Raw Tag Team Women's Championship.
You know, Vin, my brother-in-law, has the right idea because he just fast forwards through all this crap. I actually have to watch this. But
Vin, I envy you.
The only thing that Sasha Banks, Bayley, Natalya, and Beth Phoenix did for everybody with this TV win tonight was helped you make damn sure you know when your pee break is going to be. This is absolutely one of them.
I was very concerned. Because of the overall card, I'm really happy about. And I was like, when am I going to go to the bathroom? And when am I going to get food? Everything's going to be so crowded now. Everything's going to be so crowded now. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah. The lines during this match, the lines are at the bathroom are going to be unbelievable.
Hopefully there's like a lot of gun-ho women who are like, yeah, women's evolution. But, oh, there we go. Oh, look, everyone. Mike's drinking water. Look at that.
So delicious.
Oh, lovely. Hopefully, though, there's like a lot of women or people who actually like them. So, like, there are people who stay, and then
they get zero reaction every town they're in.
I know.
Even Boston, which is Sasha Banks' hometown, gave them no reaction.
You know what it is about this whole thing? They're literally, and I'm not trying to sound like cocky, but everything that we said is going to happen with these women with these titles is happening.
Oh yeah, I'm going to try not to break my arm, pat myself on the back on that one.
But
although I don't really think it was that much of a stretch when I said that this was going to suck. I think a lot of people knew that.
But as far as like, you know, because obviously not that they weren't getting time before this, but now they really are getting more time because this is the Raw Tag Team Championship.
Equality. This equality.
Equality.
We're all women's rights.
The wrong women have it.
I'm for cutting down the men's tag team titles. I'm
you are.
For that. There shouldn't be two men's tag team titles.
Exactly. But the whole thing with this is like everything that we've said is happening. It's just like this. Sasha Banks is a perfect example of tonight. We said she's not a good performer. I mean, she was so sloppy tonight, and it wasn't just like, oh, it's an off night for her. Every wrestler has an off night, you know, and that's obviously true, and that happens or whatever. But she's just getting exposed for the fraud that she is as a wrestler.
Oh my goodness, I love that. No, say it again.
She's getting exposed as a fraud that she is as a wrestler.
Yes.
She is.
She is somebody.
And
she is a super fan cosplaying as a wrestler.
She was okay when she did that first rope climb, and then she's going like this. Everyone, girl, you're not a boss. You're just an idiot because you just like went like this. There are ways to cover that up, and you could. And I'm not. Listen, I can't say that if I wrestled I would be good. I can't. I'm not really athletic in that aspect at all. So I'm not going to knock their profession and what they do because I really respect what they do.
Yes.
But at the same time, though, if I freaking flopped, I'm not going to be like, yeah, I flopped. She's not good. I'm sorry. And she's getting exposed for not having that in-ring ability.
I know.
And again, this is coming from a woman, and I'm not just hating on them because they're females. I'm all about empowering women. This is not. These are the wrong. And the people tonight. I'm sorry, and I know I'm sure you will say you'll get to it. But the people tonight that were like to Beth Phoenix, you still got it. Still got what?
Oh God,
Like,
those
what?
idiots.
Like, what?
Yes, Beth Phoenix did a spear
on.
on Tamina through a barricade, which I hope means that Tamina is going to be taken out of this match. I hope that they sell that injury big. Doubtful,
But like
doubtful.
What?
But you know, like.
And I'm not, and I don't hate Beth Phoenix.
That's just people trying to just will a moment into being special when it's really not.
Right. I don't hate Beth Phoenix.
No. It has nothing to do with Beth Phoenix.
I just don't.
It just has to do with just shoddy booking. You know, unnecessary titles that don't need to be there.
You know what this actually in reference to? It's like what we were saying about
and Sasha
Tori
Banks.
Wilson being a trailblazer. It's like.
Right. Oh God,
like,
they used that in the commercial tonight.
Right.
I literally think they did that just to piss me off.
But like that. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like it's just the whole thing behind it. Like, whatever.
So,
but it's
stupid. You know, it just really is. It's just, you know, that we have too many titles. There's just too much stuff on this WrestleMania, and there wasn't a whole bunch of people clamoring to get Beth Phoenix into this. You know, honestly. They like the big missed opportunity here is not using the Riott Squad in this match. If you want to like keep this match together,
I agree with that.
Natalia's going to be trying to do 15 grab them by the asshole suplexes and whatever. You know, she's going to be trying to show off with a bunch of people that aren't good at doing show off stuff. You know, she's probably going to try to do something complicated with the Iconics to show that, well, I'm a wrestler and I trained in the Hart Dungeon and I am from the loins of Stu Hart indirectly. And, you know, she's going to want to show off doing that. You're going to have Beth Phoenix running around, you know, trying to shake ring rust off. You're going to have Sasha Banks trying to be cool and spiking herself on her head, pile driving herself, doing a suicide dive. You're going to have Bayley just like, my character's dead. I don't know what to do. And then you're going to have the Iconics doing stuff. You know, the Riott Squad would have been great in this match to kind of be the glue because they've been on TV every week. They've been doing, they've been doing some good stuff. They were put in a big situation here tonight with the WrestleMania main event women. I think the Riott Squad
had a match with matches
right.
with
She had the big
Rousey,
feud. But she had the big feud with Natalya.
Yes.
So the payoff actually could have been at WrestleMania. You could have made the whole Jim Neidhart is dead, ha 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 thing into like an actual payoff at WrestleMania. But instead, the Riott Squad's going to sit on the sidelines while Tamina gets a WrestleMania match. Forget it. Next.
Right, like they're doing all the dirty work while those people get to have
we spent way too much time talking about this match.
Okay.
We spent way
Agreed.
too much. Ugh.
I agree with you. Moving on.
Batista addresses his WrestleMania match against Triple H. This was fun. They didn't have this is Batista coming to his hometown for the last time because he is retiring. He's 50 years old. This is I really do believe this is going to be his last match. I'm sure he might have like something down the line or whatever, but this is his last major match of his entire career. Of his entire career, pretty much. They could have had him go out there and just been like, I am from Washington D.C., but I moved to Hollywood and doing all that stuff,
no.
Getting all the cheap heat because that's kind of how they booked him initially. Bad guy 101. But instead he came out, he got big cheers, a welcome back chant.
Yeah.
The spotlight's on him. He's still doing his thing. He's wearing, a blazer with almost no shirt on, which is just odd. But these really cool red sunglasses, which I really liked. He just puts his head down, points to the screen. They do the video package for Triple H versus Batista in a no-holds-barred match. And then he just takes off his glasses, looks at the camera, and he says, "Hunter, kiss my ass." And that's it. Drops the mic.
See, this is what I like. I feel like that's a true...
That was perfect.
See, I feel like
that's
a couple weeks ago...
you needed.
I feel like a couple weeks ago when they had that, that weird, James Bond looking, promo or whatever, I didn't feel like it was, Batista. I feel like this is Batista. Not a man of very few words who's just going to tell you,
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
There's nothing else that needed to be said.
Nothing. No. It was perfect. And I wish every single promo could be like that. I wish that
especially people who can't
this
talk.
thing was over in 5 minutes tops, and 3 of it was like the video.
Yeah.
That was great.
Fantastic.
A lumberjack match, just a bunch of people around the ring. Jinder Mahal versus Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews goes over. They're promoting.
Can we even
Andre.
call it a lumberjack match?
Yeah, they just had people around the ring. The lumberjacks got involved, never, and then that was it. Apollo Crews hits a frog splash. It was a 2-second match. Then everybody's trying to pose with the Andre the Giant trophy. So
it's like
then
a
brawl breaks out.
It's like a curse. That win is a curse. What does it do for you?
It hasn't done anything for anybody.
Wait, can you say your prediction?
Oh yeah, Colin Jost is winning. I really do believe if Colin Jost doesn't win, it's got to go to Braun Strowman. I can't see it. I literally can't see it going to anybody else. I cannot see it going to anybody else.
I really want Colin Jost to win.
Unless like Lars Sullivan just comes out of nowhere, he makes a big surprise return and he wins the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I can't see anybody else but either Colin Jost or Braun Strowman winning. So that would be something. Yeah. And don't forget, I think Mojo Rawley's in this match, and he was not a lumberjack tonight. And intermittently, they keep showing him doing that stuff, talking to himself in the mirror. So don't sleep on Mojo Rawley. I can't believe I just said that. God Almighty, I hope I'm wrong about that. Okay, this was a really nice moment. The 9 o'clock hour too. So they gave Kurt Angle some time. Now, the one thing they didn't give Kurt Angle was a match. Initially, it was supposed to be Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio. I think they saw him have his match against Samoa Joe last week on Raw and just said, whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah.
No more.
Focus on WrestleMania.
We can't do this anymore. Kurt, we want it. He and allegedly Kurt Angle really was allowed to pick his final opponents. Like he was able to pick Samoa Joe. He was able to pick AJ Styles. He was able to pick Rey Mysterio, which never happened, and the AJ Styles match never really happened either. He was able to pick Chad Gable. He was able to pick these matches, all except for that one match against Baron Corbin. He was not that was all storyline, but it makes sense. I get why it happened, but I think they saw him face Samoa Joe last week. They gave it a little bit of time, and Kurt Angle almost DDT'd himself trying to do a snap suplex. And I think they said no more. Because the next night, the AJ Styles match lasted like 2 seconds. It was interrupted by Orton and all that stuff. It's just a sad end to a really great career.
I really do.
We were texting with my brother-in-law, her brother, Vin, last night. Kurt Angle is on Vin, and Vin is in the chat room, so you can tell everybody. Kurt Angle is Vin's one of his top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. I would say the same for myself. I would absolutely say the same for myself. And I think we both agree that we just wish that this retirement tour never happened. I almost just wish that I wish that they had the foresight to have just ended Angle's career after the Ronda Rousey mixed tag last year at WrestleMania. That's Kurt Angle's last great match. That's as good as it can get. It'll just never get any better than that. And this match against friggin' Baron Corbin it's going to be awful. It has to go 30 seconds. It can't go longer than that.
It can't. No, I do agree. I feel very badly for him, and I definitely agree with you that he had every intention of having a match tonight, but after last week, they were like, you know what? We got to keep you for WrestleMania because this is your retirement match. And I think they had a lot planned, and then everything just kind of, even like now, they're still thinking like, okay, it's got to be shorter. This has to be. And I actually think from just analyzing over these past few weeks, I think he's feeling it too. I don't think necessarily like if they told him, when he had that match with Samoa Joe and they're telling him you shouldn't wrestle tonight, I don't think he necessarily was like fighting it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he kind of is like, okay. You know what I mean? I don't think he's thrilled about it, obviously, but I think he is kind of accepting the fact that like,
I think he gets it.
Yeah.
I think he gets it. But I still have a sneaking suspicion that Angle is not going to stay true to his retirement. Angle will be at StarCast in May and in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, you said that. Yeah.
They announced it tonight that he will be at StarCast. Not an April Fool's joke. That's really happening. And I just have a feeling Angle's going to get involved in some way wrestling outside of WWE. I hope I'm wrong about that. And I hope that Angle really does realize that, like, him being in the ring is a dangerous thing. After watching the Samoa Joe match, I can't believe that they actually are allowing him to get in the ring and work at WrestleMania of all places.
Unless, like you said, it's literally 2 seconds.
It has to be. It has to just be like an angle slam, ankle lock, tap out, or deep six and just end him.
Yeah.
It can't.
Which
be
is
any longer
tough
than that.
because it's like
it's sad. It's sad. It's a very sad end to a really great career. And like I know it's like that's Baron Corbin's like storyline thing to say like, oh, the last image of you is going to be this broken down man laying on his back, beaten by me. But man, there's a ton of truth to that. He is a broken down man, and that is now my last image of Angle.
I know.
And I hope as the years go on, as we get past this retirement thing, I think back fondly of Kurt Angle. But right now, every time I think of Kurt Angle, I'm just like, sad.
Well, I think that video was actually I was very surprised that they actually went through with that tribute video because I thought like
I thought Corbin was going to interrupt it or sabotage the video.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like, well, you really think Kurt Angle is as great as he thinks he is, and blah 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 blah,
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you seriously look back and like watch videos like that, you know deep down the man Kurt Angle really is.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And that was a really nice moment for him. He was in tears when they played the video. It was really nice. Kurt Angle's kind of cursed by how talented he was, though. It's not
how
like
so?
Well, I'll explain. Because he was such a wrestling machine. He was so crisp in the ring. He was such a natural at this that any diminishing of his skills is extremely noticeable. And and part of his gimmick is that he's just really a great wrestler.
Right.
And if he can't have a great match anymore,
who is he?
That character is nothing.
Yeah.
That makes the character sad to watch. Now, like Mick Foley was always like I'd use Mick Foley. It's a totally different template, but in this sense it'll make sense to you. He was always a brawler. He was always a wild man in wrestling. So it wasn't like he was technically proficient or anything like that. So when Mick Foley, when his skills diminished, he was able to hide it a lot with different, he had the different characters. He could do comedy and he could still do the big bumps, but his matches weren't as great. And when he made his comebacks, he was able to, hide those deficiencies, by doing some crazy things to, some smoke and mirrors and stuff like that.
No, I see what you're saying.
You can't do smoke and mirrors with Kurt Angle trying to do takedowns and drop toe holds and waist locks because he's too stiff. It's like, that's the curse of Kurt Angle.
Yeah. So
it's a sad thing, and I hope he, leaves the memories alone. So anyway, so Corbin did come out eventually and he said that, I'm going to destroy you and whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to leave this broken down old man lying in the ring. So Angle says, yeah, we'll square off on Sunday, but since it's my last match on Raw, which he didn't even get that, they should have an exhibition match right now. So Corbin goes out of the ring, gets in, pretends to get in the ring, leaves, gets the boos. Rey Mysterio comes out, and he challenges Corbin to a fight on Angle's behalf instead. Corbin tries to attack, but they lay him out. Okay, so that was that. Just, whatever. Another whatever. This was actually a fun match, but just a ton of whatever with this. Ricochet and Aleister Black taking on the Revival, the Raw Tag Team Champions. The Raw Tag Team Champions, the Revival, beat them by countout, but there was a damn impressive flipping senton over. I've seen Ricochet do it before, the flip over the ring post, but damn, it's impressive every time you see it. Here's we're just watching the GIF right now. That's all this match really had. It was fun. They worked hard in it. Ricochet and Aleister Black are going to be challenging War Raiders at NXT for those tag team titles, and that's going to be a phenomenal match. TakeOver is just so goddamn stacked. I can't wait for it.
It's like another WrestleMania.
That's
just a stacked show.
I know everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, Mike. Well, without WrestleMania, this wouldn't be happening. But I have to say, I am more excited for NXT than I am really for WrestleMania. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna have a blast at WrestleMania.
Of course you are.
I've been to this. What was this, my 5th or 6th WrestleMania or something like that. I get excited for them, and once I get there, I'll be just as excited as I am for NXT. But I get to see Walter versus Pete Dunne. I get to see Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. Aleister Black and Ricochet versus the War Raiders. It's going to be a great damn show.
The reason why I love NXT when I go to the shows is because, and it's, what's nice about them? If you're not one who watches NXT, you still can go to the show and really just enjoy like great wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's really, and you get that like little glance of like who's on the upcoming and who you think is going to make it, who you think is going to have a successful career, like who's good. That's what I love about it. It's always that like, you just feel like you're part of the special club almost that of like,
mm-hmm.
A little sneak preview of like what's to come for the company.
Oh yeah.
And there's always such great talent. I mean, really, like.
I know. So, I have a feeling that they'll probably throw Aleister Black and Ricochet in there again against the Revival on Sunday, but I hope I'm wrong. I think there's just way too many matches. Once you get past like booking 15 matches on a show, can you really say that every single match is special anymore? And shouldn't WrestleMania have like almost every single match be special? In my view,
in theory.
In my view.
Well, I have my thoughts about that later.
We'll get to that. Okay. Let's see. We have Roman Reigns in the back. Reigns was not out there tonight. He just did a little backstage thing. He was saying that he's 100% cleared, and the rumors saying that he's not are incorrect. McIntyre attacked him from behind and murdered him. Okay, great.
Okay, right.
What else is there to say? I mean, there was some booze for Roman Reigns tonight. You heard it?
No, I actually didn't. Were there?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
You think it's the John Oliver thing?
No, not at all. Not at all. I just think that people are like, okay, well,
You're fine.
Well, you're fine now, and now we're just going to go back to, treating you like we always did. So, I hope he doesn't get booed at WrestleMania. I will not be one of the people booing him at WrestleMania. I mean, there was overwhelmingly more cheers than boos, but there were definitely boos when they showed him. When they showed him twice. They showed him twice. They showed him before the commercial break, and then they showed him again.
I'll have to look back. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Yep. Yeah, he got some boos tonight.
Huh.
Oh, well. Anyway, so the Riott Squad versus Becky Lynch, SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, and Raw Women's Champion Rowdy Ronda Rousey. If anyone betrays her teammate during this match, they would be removed from the WrestleMania main event. Lynch, Flair, and Ronda Rousey made short work of the Riott Squad, and then it was on. Literally, as soon as the bell rang. This got fun very quickly. Match over, and then she immediately attacks Charlotte Flair. That was awesome.
This was wrestling poetry right here. This is
fun.
Everything you want.
Yep.
Everything you want. And you know what I liked about all this too? Well, it was kind of like a catch-22 because I liked the placement of this only because it allowed for time.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to rush at the 11 o'clock
right.
and stop it. I know people probably would have preferred it because it was the most exciting part of Raw. So people probably would have loved to have that be the end.
Well,
but at the same time, though, I am really glad they did it when they did it because it really allowed for you didn't have to eliminate anything from that. It just was you were able to have the match, you were able to do the aftermath of the match, all the other little fun things that happened.
Yep.
So that's why
this was a lot of fun, and you're totally right about that. It did have room to breathe. This match started at 9:45, and by 10 o'clock the police are out and just doing some stuff.
Yeah.
There's also a humongous drop off in the third hour, so it's just better. If people are only going to watch if people are only going to watch 2 hours of Raw, and then we're just going to have a third hour of basically Raw hangover, get the big stuff on at that 10 o'clock hour. And this was a big angle. I thought it was a little overbooked. I wasn't initially a fan of them getting arrested, but then when Rousey and Lynch wound up in the back of the police car and looked at each other and started kicking, and then they kicked out the window, that was awesome. I loved it.
It was really good. Really, really good.
It was so much fun. It was kind of overbooked a little bit, but it was just there was just a lot of fun. For me
now,
I just I had trouble seeing all these police officers, having trouble. Ronda Rousey gets in the driver's seat somehow and drives the car into another police car. It was wild, and then it finishes off with Charlotte hitting her with this nasty knee, which was totally awesome. It was fun. By the end of it, I thought it was a lot of fun. did get a little hokey, but it was just over the top enough to keep me excited for the match. So that's that. Yeah. What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it a lot. I had the total opposite. Like, every little thing I was obsessed
No,
with.
it was fun. I'm not saying I didn't like it.
No, I know I'm not saying you didn't like it, but I know you said it got hokey. To me, I didn't have any hokey vibes at all, just because... and I know you're saying, like, about the cops and everything. There's just a lot of them. But to me, that's actually showing equality of, like, you need all these guys to, like...
Equality!
You know? But you need all these guys to tame all these, you know,
the
these
WrestleMania
women,
main event. Yes.
You know? So,
yeah. I did like that one cop in the ring, though, when they were trying to handcuff Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
It was a lady cop, and she had her hand on her gun the entire time. Like, she's going to draw in the center of the ring and shoot Ronda Rousey dead. She had her hand on the holster the entire time. I was like, okay, this person's taking their job a little too seriously.
No, it was really, really good.
Yeah, it was.
I enjoyed it a lot. I can't tell you how excited I am for Sunday just to watch this.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, and I always like watching history. So, what else can you say?
No,
it was just good stuff. Heavy Machinery versus Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Heavy Machinery goes over, and that's that. So,
love the worm.
Just something to just pass the time. Braun Strowman killed 2 local talents who he was imagining to be Colin Jost and Michael Che. I tried to find a gif of him doing the double power slam because he actually put them both on his shoulder and then power slammed them. That was great. I could watch Braun Strowman murder people all day long.
What is going on with oh my god, my mind is blanking.
I don't know.
With Alexa Bliss. Who was Alexa Bliss before?
Oh God, EC3
yeah.
and Tyler Breeze, who Tyler Breeze was talking all this garbage about WWE over the weekend. Now he's on TV.
What is going on with EC3?
Nothing. He stinks. That's all there is to it.
I know, but I feel bad for him.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I love how you don't feel bad for people. You're like, whatever.
Look, he has a job. He's doing okay. He gets to... He's fine. Okay. We have Bobby Lashley out there and Charlie Caruso, of course, in the ring. Charlie Caruso or insert any random interviewer. It's just they're all the same person. She asked if he has any cause for concern, and Leo Rush takes the mic and asks if she's serious. Last week was a fluke. Finn Balor didn't pin Lashley last week. He pinned the dead weight Jinder Mahal. The only thing they're going to be worried about is where they're going to have the after party. And then she asked about the demon showing up, which we've all been talking about the demon showing up, and I've gone into detail about why the demon is stupid at WrestleMania. If the demon didn't show up at Royal Rumble to help him win the Universal title, why is he going to show up and help him win a secondary title? Whatever.
We already hashed that one out. Let's not go with that.
It's just so dumb. Anyway, Lashley says he's not afraid of an Irish fairy tale. Finn Balor is the demon, and the demon is Finn Balor, and he whoops Balor every time. So all of a sudden now, the dead personality that is Finn Balor is now a magician. At WrestleMania, my demon will be your nightmare. The smoke comes on the screen, and then he turns into the demon, and then he does this like weird thing with his tongue, and it was just like, God, let's like take every single Undertaker vignette that you've ever seen and like shoot it with steroids of hokiness. That was Finn Balor and this demon thing tonight. It stunk.
It's just like him.
I hated every second of that, and it has and that has nothing to do whatsoever with the logic holes in this. The little plot holes. That has nothing to do with it. I just thought this was hokey garbage. And then when he goes, I was like, oh my God, that is like
okay?
That is the least intimidating, scary thing I've ever seen in my life.
Are you all right? You doing okay there?
It looked like somebody pretending to be like, he looked like Undertaker went through 15 spin cycles. It was like, come on.
No, looked like Undertaker. He looked like a little kid trying to be the Undertaker.
Yeah, he looked like a little kid trying to be Finn Balor, actually. That's what it looked like. It was awful. And, like, if anything, if you're going to bring the goddamn demon out, even though it makes no friggin' sense, at least make it a surprise. Don't reveal it on Raw. No, first of all, no one's buying WrestleMania to see Finn Balor anyway. So who cares if like the Demon's not going to sell anybody on this pay-per-view? It's absolutely not selling a single person on this show.
You're not.
Nobody.
That's not why you bought your ticket.
No, I did not buy my ticket to see the Demon. No. So you could have just kept that a secret because nobody gives a shit about Finn Balor anyway or his stupid match. Okay, that's all there is to it. At least the Demon kind of ensures that this match won't be long. Hopefully, please, it won't be too long.
Oh my gosh, please.
Doug goes, the Demon is about as evil as fabric softener. Jamel says this is a great callback. Jamel, hats off to you, sir. I'm not wearing a hat tonight, but the Demon is a rejected Dungeon of Doom member. Yes, I think the Demon was the leader of the Dungeon of Doom, actually. Oh my God, I've made PB&J's more intimidating than Demon Balor. Yeah, when he stuck out his tongue, I was like, oh my God, this was just. Oh,
I feel like I'm scarier than the Demon at this point.
Oh, it was brutal. It was freaking brutal. Oh, Rey Mysterio Rey Mysterio versus Baron Corbin. Yeah, it was a match. It happened.
I just love anything to do with Rey Mysterio.
I love Rey Mysterio too. Big fan.
Nothing
always been.
And I hate everything to do with Baron Corbin. But
I don't actually. I didn't think it was a bad match whatsoever.
No, it wasn't.
And this is probably of all the matches that Baron Corbin's going to have in the next 6 days. This is going to be better than his WrestleMania match. I'll tell you that.
It's probably one of his better matches of his whole career.
I guess so. Yeah. It was something. I don't know if it was the best match of his career. Definitely wasn't the best match of Rey Mysterio's career, but Baron Corbin goes over Rey Mysterio with the deep six, not even his finishing move, his signature move. So I don't like beating Rey Mysterio. Samoa Joe's already beaten him. He beat him at the Fastlane pay-per-view. Mysterio looks weak going into the United States title match. But then again, I really do believe it's going to be on the kickoff show. Yeah, I don't think that this match makes it to the main show.
I kind of think that it was just because, too, with Mysterio, it's like you have to have some sort of veteran to go against Corbin in order to look legitimate that he can get over on Kurt Angle, even though Kurt Angle's been showing anything but you know what I mean, that he's worthy of a match with Kurt Angle at WrestleMania.
Yes.
So I see why they did it. Yeah,
it was supposed to be in honor of it was in honor of, in Kurt Angle's honor. At the end of the show, Kurt Angle, took Corbin down and applied the ankle lock to him. So, Kurt Angle gets his last shining moment on Raw. They couldn't give him a match. They would not give him a match, and I do not blame them whatsoever. But they definitely let him shine. They did the video package. Kurt Angle was in tears during that. And then he's left standing. He's the last image you see on Raw tonight, other than, they showed a couple replays of the Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch thing. But, overall, not bad. It was a loaded show, a lot of hard stuff for WrestleMania. We talked a lot about the stuff that we didn't like, but I assure you there was a lot more that I liked than I didn't like.
Yeah.
But let's see what the people on Twitter are thinking right now. We got 59% thumbs down, so it's coming up a little bit. It was like 67 before, so we're almost at the 50-50. Almost at the dreaded thumbs in the middle. Okay. Chat room, what do you think of this show? We'll wait for that because we're on a tape delay anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And before the John Oliver thing.
Yeah, well, I think we should just start talking about John Oliver now, or should we talk about the WrestleMania card real quick on all the stuff that is confirmed?
No, let's do John Oliver real quick, and then the card, because that's like the
that'll be the go home. Yes, because the go home post Raw
to WrestleMania.
All right. Well, golly,
I'm trying to think logically.
Yeah. Yes, and right now they have 14 matches confirmed for WrestleMania.
Good Lord.
Good Lord. Ugh. So okay, this is the wrestling world. And that's not an exaggeration, has been talking all day about the John Oliver piece, which aired on HBO last night, on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. And this was an incredible piece. I know WWE tried to promote it as a hit piece, and yes, there are definitely some arguments to be made in WWE's favor for this. There's no question about it. Of course. But for the most part, It's not wasn't like an indictment of WWE today, because what they're doing today with their talent is much better than what they used to do. It's just the fact that all the years of all the, like I think the Bret Hart quote tied it all together really nicely, that for a long time Vince McMahon did use these wrestlers just as cogs in a wheel, and then you take the old yeller out back and put a bullet in his head, and that's the end of it. Like I also remember when Steve Austin retired at WrestleMania 19 in 2003. I remember watching, they made a mini movie about that, and it was on the WrestleMania 20 DVD set. And Steve Austin, the night before that match against The Rock, was like so nervous, kind of sad about his career coming to an end. He took all these energy drinks, wound up, his heart rate spiked so much, he goes to the hospital, and he's just thinking, and they caught him after he got out of the hospital. He's coming down from this like huge adrenaline rush of, all these energy drinks and stuff like that. And he goes, I'm just a cog in the wheel, and, as a cog, I've worn out, and there'll be another cog to replace me. And that really rung home for me about, how the professional wrestling industry treats their wrestlers. There was a lot of talk about independent contractors, how they, even though they're independent contractors, are signed to exclusive contracts, the loophole with the IRS that allows them to keep them as independent contractors, the really despicable things that Vince McMahon has done in the past,
no healthcare,
the no healthcare thing, the total that totally callous interview, which I'm sure his buttons were pressed, but he really did have a poor showing in 2003 on Real Sports. The Roddy Piper stuff ringing true about how he's not going to make it to 65. That was really, really tough to watch. And then just being totally callous about the deaths and not taking any responsibility.
I think here's what I think about the whole thing. I think it's definitely shed some light for sure on the company and its previous, and in previous years. But I kind of, and not to totally defend everything with the WWE, I'm not saying that. It's definitely a flawed company, for sure. I had no idea about the no health care, that they don't particularly take care of their veteran wrestlers, you know what I mean? At the same time, though, I don't know if they fully showcased of how the company has evolved. So I can kind of see where WWE is like, this is a little one-sided.
Well, he did though. I mean,
no, he did. But if you think, but think about what they did in Showcase. All the things they do for pediatric cancer, all the things they do for Connor's cure.
Well, yeah,
the reading challenges.
Most of that is that's all PR stuff.
Susan G. But there's real.
Yeah. Those are different people that are affected, but not the wrestlers themselves. The wrestlers themselves don't benefit from that. The company does.
Company does, but at the same time, though, they're still.
But then at the same time, then you could equally throw the Saudi Arabia thing.
Of course, but that's what I'm saying. So I'm very mixed on this, because it's like I feel like the company really has evolved, and they did showcase. They did this in the John Oliver piece. They did showcase the fact that they have a way stricter, concussion
protocol.
And injury protocol, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is great. But at the same time, it's like,
well, the wrestlers of today are benefiting from all the stuff that the older wrestlers had to go through. It's off the backs, literally, and the blood, sweat, and tears of those people on of the old wrestlers that. Victoria's got to run off for a second, get another drink of water here. It's off the blood, sweat, and tears of those old wrestlers, that the current roster of WWE gets the benefit. They have health insurance. They make crazy, amazing, guaranteed money on top of all the different stuff of getting a little percentage of the gates or whatever it is that they get. This crew is set up really, really well. It's the wrestlers that, from the 80s and 90s and even the early to mid 2000s that really are the ones that suffer, because, for the most part, especially the wrestlers of the 80s and the early to mid 90s, they were bumping on those hard, old, basically glorified boxing rings, essentially. And if you've ever been in a boxing ring or felt a boxing ring, if you've ever been at a gym where there's been a ring set up, the boxing rings are very different from wrestling rings. You would never want to take a bump in a wrestling ring. It's literally like concrete. There's actually a great passage in Chris Jericho's first book when he talked about, I believe he went to, it was Germany, and they had they had a ring set up in a tent in Germany. And Jericho was watching all these old timers kind of taking these funny fuddy-duddy bumps in the ring. And he's like, oh, it's a boxing ring. It's still a ring. I'm going to go out there and do something. And he said that he took a back body drop and it hurt so bad that he thinks he shit his pants a little bit. It was that painful. So you have to imagine the rings of the 80s and the 90s had a little more give than that, but not much. A lot of those guys really got messed up. Their bodies, their shoulders, the discs in their back, their hips. Look at Hulk Hogan. You don't really think that Hulk Hogan really went through did a lot of big bumps and stuff like that, but his big body having to fall, on that mat multiple times, selling and all that stuff, even though he made the big Hulk Hogan comebacks. The guy had three major surgeries on his back. Luckily he had enough money to cover that. Not everybody has had that opportunity to do that, which is, kind of sad. So, it was just one of those pieces that really, really, hit home for me, because I think about those guys that have passed on. I think about, Roddy Piper. I think about, guys like Big Boss Man, Rick Rude, Brian Pillman's not really fair to say, but they suffered a lot, they really did, whether we knew it or not, and because they're wrestlers and they're expected to work through injuries, sometimes they ignored their own things, I feel a little lightheaded, I'm going to fall asleep on the couch, and then you wake up, and then you don't wake up, you're dead of a heart attack, or a guy like Umaga, who was addicted to painkillers and stuff like that and died from that, which totally sucked. I do believe that wrestlers should have a retirement fund. I really do think that there should be something to take care of them afterward. WWE is big enough that they could do that, and I do think it's high time that they, that they've recognized them as employees. Because it is kind of a joke to say they're independent contractors, but again, that no matter what, you call them employees, whatever, they can be independent, they can be whatever. This crew is set up for life, with all the money that they're making. So that's good on them for that. But Lordy Lord, it was just an interesting piece. I wouldn't say so much a hit piece, but it was just an absolutely stunning piece. So yeah, Victoria.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like I said, I still have mixed feelings about it. There were certain things that shed light for sure, but at the same time, I can't completely denounce WWE as this.
Oh no, I wouldn't denounce them, but
you know what I mean, as this horrible company.
But
it's important though that I think pieces like this are important to start a conversation. When they mentioned when he mentioned about the hashtag, fans do have a lot of say in a lot of things that happen, they give divas a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And then that really did start this evolution for the women, and he was like, I encourage you to signs and chant, about the health insurance for these wrestlers.
Can you imagine how annoying it would be at WrestleMania? People started trying to, they're employees.
Yeah,
they're employees.
But it is something to think about,
Well, Lynn McMahon is on Trump's re-election campaign, so zero chance that the government is going to close up the independent contractor loophole. So, I don't think there's going to be any change made from this. The thing I think is going to have the most lasting impact here is it's been around the internet for years. I remember when it happened at Survivor Series 2006 when Vince came out and he said the N-word, and it was totally disgusting when he did it. It was either 2006 or 2007. Actually,
I don't know.
I can't remember.
That was the first time I ever
Yeah.
saw that.
Yeah, but
was
I
during that interview.
think that's going to have, if anything, and especially in this very uber sensitive culture that we have now. I think that will probably be the thing that affects them the most, is Vince in that clip saying the N-word.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with that. I think what it sheds light on is like the individual that Vince McMahon is. Like the very good point he made is like no one's telling Vince McMahon to do this. He's his own boss.
He wrote that script.
Right.
He did it because he just wanted to do it. He wanted to do it because he wanted to show everybody, oh well, I'm Vince McMahon and I can do whatever I want. And guess what? I'm going to take my blackest superstar and make him stand there while I say it too. You know? And he's going to have to, because it's an exclusive contract. And at the time, there really was nowhere else to go except for Impact. And he's just going to stand there and take it because I'm Vince McMahon. That's the thing, that I think will have the lasting impact. Because if I was a stockholder, I can live with the Saudi Arabia thing if I'm a stockholder, because you know what, that's money in my pocket eventually. It just increases the net worth of WWE, whatever.
Right, like how it benefits you.
I have serious, I would have serious reservations about Vince McMahon's mentality and just everything else, his decision making. Based off that clip, that was pretty disgusting. Yeah, it didn't age well whatsoever.
No, that's true. It's very true.
So and also the thing with him saying, "I take no responsibility." You look at me, they're dead, and then he smacks the papers. That was really, God.
I've never seen that before.
None of that looked good.
I have never seen that before.
Good. Yeah, it was just all really, really bad. So, we'll see what comes of it. I don't know if much will at all. If anything,
he's invited to WrestleMania. Did I miss that?
Well, they sent out a thing saying that John Oliver didn't air anything that the producers said because they rebutted things and they did this and whatever. They didn't. Like John Oliver did present both sides of the story. He didn't entirely present the fact that IRS could have closed this up at any time, and the last 40 years they never have. And he also didn't present the fact that they're making so much money, it doesn't matter whether they're independent contractors or whatever. And a lot of the stuff he showed a lot of people with sour grapes, like CM Punk and stuff like that. So there's that.
That was another thing I kind of had an issue with, only because I'm not condoning what happened to CM Punk at all. But he's a person who complained well before his infection and well before he got sick. Yeah. And I know I'm a Miz fan. I get it. Like, I have a little bit more of a bias, but what he did to how he spoke about him.
We can't.
Let's
not even get into that.
But what I'm saying is, it's like, those are the type of that's one individual
he was a sour grapes guy. He was a sour grapes guy.
So
when they got Bret Hart doing that interview, he was totally sour grapes against WWE. That was from Wrestling with Shadows in 1998. There's been they didn't objectively show anybody who was like, hey, I love WWE, but yeah, it's kind of screwed up that we're independent contractors. There wasn't really anybody like that. So
exactly.
If anything, that was missing. Yeah. Like if they had Mick Foley come on the show and been like, yeah, we should unionize, and it's kind of bullshit that we're independent contractors. Yeah, that would be a little more effective to me than Jesse Ventura, who's had a love-hate relationship with WWE forever.
Agreed.
The only thing they were missing was superstar Billy Graham going, God damn, everything sucks. It sucks. The whole show sucks. That they just needed Billy Graham doing that, and we would have had the forfecta of sour grape people. Anyway, so that's the John Oliver thing. It was something. It was something, but it's got people talking. So, good or bad, WWE does thrive off of
right before WrestleMania.
The theory of any new bad news, good news doesn't matter. It's all good news. So it's just attention for them. Well, that's what I got on that. You have anything else you want to add about that? Nope. All right. WrestleMania 35, looking like a big show. So
I have to just say one thing about the card with so many matches.
14 right now.
Yeah. Me, yes, excited. I'm attending. It's always different when you attend. Oh, yeah. But from when I was recently watching, because I just started listening to Nikki, the Bellas podcast. And I watched recently the season finale of Total Bellas, but I just watched also the pilot episode of Total Divas.
Okay.
And to think that, like, their match was cut because of time, like, and now it's like any old match is getting on the card, and like is like time is not even like a factor anymore. It's just like, oh no, we'll add you on the oh no, okay, we'll make room for you. All right, we'll have you on the pre-show. Okay, we'll do this. Like it's just completely different now, where like these cards are just stacked and stacked with matches, when during that time their match got cut because of time. Like
right.
Like how it's just changed.
I know.
In that amount of time.
Yeah, there was no women's matches on the WrestleMania 29 card. Now this year we're going to be seeing a WrestleMania main event.
So I'm just saying, it's just very interesting how, like, and I get it, like, also too, like with their stocks and like pay-per-views and stuff like that, because now they have the network, they don't really have to answer to anybody. But still, it's just amazing how it's changed so much. Like, that would never even happen now. Like, they never would be like, oh no, you can't do that. Like, no, they would be like, no, we're gonna have as many matches as we can. I feel like it's like, I don't know. Yeah.
So it's gonna be good. All right, let's put a bow on this thing and just let's wrap it up tonight, because I think it's if we keep talking, it's gonna be almost WrestleMania now. So I'm although I am very, very excited for the show. You'll be seeing me again sometime this week, I'm sure of it. A lot of stuff, like I said, coming up on Wrestleview. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Thank you, Jamel. Thank you, Randy, Goosey, Andrew, Vin, of course, my brother-in-law, Billy Hefner, always there, Quentin Walters, give wrestlers a chance, hashtag. I'm just scrolling through. We had CJ in the chat tonight. We had a lot of people checking us out tonight, so I was very happy. Nafis was in the room.
Nice.
Gold Steel X, which is good to see you. Dougie in the room. Good stuff. Everybody, thank you for joining. Sweet Lou was here all night. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We love doing this. We have such a blast. Next week is going to be our biggest post-Raw show ever, with the post-Raw after WrestleMania. So
everyone better come celebrate for my birthday.
Yes.
I'll be very upset.
And next week is Victoria's birthday also, that Monday night.
If you don't celebrate on my birthday, I will take personal offense to that.
Yes.
Okay?
Exactly.
So come celebrate for my birthday.
Exactly.
If not anything else, even if it's not for WrestleMania and this is a show, just come for my birthday.
Awesome. All right,
maybe I'll have some cake.
Yeah. Oh, you never know. You
never know.
You never know. You never know what announcements we'll make next week, too. So, everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. I am Mike Tedesco.
I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Have a great WrestleMania.
Have a great WrestleMania, everyone. Woo! Woo!